Hi guys, welcome to Gadget First. Today we've got with us the Motorola Moto Lux. This is a budget phone, maybe mid-end from Motorola. Features what Motorola are calling a fashion design. Certainly does look quite good. We've got this unusual bit here, what Motorola calls a lanyard, and basically this allows you to put any manner of things through it, whether it's your keys, one of those charm things. Also lights up, has an LED inside, which allows you basically whenever you get a notification, this will glow green, like it is now. Just received a text message, so it's glowing green. Also varies with the battery life. If you've got low battery, it will go an amber or yellow or even a reddy colour. So it's really useful, I find. I've got a light here, and you can see it's still perfectly visible, so nice and easy to see in sunlight. Let's just go over the aesthetics of the phone. Basically, we've got a 4-inch screen on the front. I'll just try and zoom in a little bit. We've got a 4-inch screen on the front here, with the resolution of WVGA, which is 854 pixels by 480. So fairly standard resolution, not too special, but I have to say the screen is quite crisp and clear. At the bottom we've got various Android touch buttons. We've got the menu key, home key, back key and search key, all I'm sure you're familiar with on the Android platform. We've of course got this light, which I've already spoken about, the Motorola logo, and here we have the speaker bar and front facing camera. There's a multitude of sensors on the front as well, like proximity sensors, so that's got everything you need there. I have to say, I like the look of the front of the phone. It's got this edge-to-edge glass, so certainly looks nice. And on the back and all around the phone, we've got this soft touch feel. It certainly doesn't look like metal or plastic when you look at it. It is really something really nice. Do like this soft touch. They've used it on quite a few phones, from the original Milestone to this phone. Right, so on the right hand side we've got the camera key. You just press and hold it to start the camera. We've also got the volume rocker, up and down volume. On the top we have a 3.5mm headphone jack, and also the power and unlock key. On the left hand side we have the micro USB port for charging and syncing. Nothing too much on the back. Sorry about that, just lost some memory on the card. So as I was saying, got quite a plain looking back here. We've got an 8-megapixel camera with flash. We've got the soft touch finish, as I've already said, the Motorola logo, and the speaker bar at the bottom. That's another part of the design they've used quite regularly. They've used it on the Milestone 2. A lot of their flagship mobiles have used this speaker bar. I really like the look of it. Whoops, didn't mean for that to fall out quite as much. They always use these nice backs as well. They're not thin plastic ones. They are all metal with the soft touch finish, so that's really nice. On the back we have the BP6X battery. That's the same one that I've got in my Motorola Milestone 2, which I use on a daily basis. I can't quite remember what milliamp hour it is. Let me just check. So yeah, the battery is 1390 milliamp hour. In my Milestone 2 it didn't really have brilliant battery life, but when you put the battery in this phone, I have to say the battery life is really pleasing. I've had 32 hours out of the phone on a fairly, I wouldn't call it heavy usage, but it's definitely not low usage, just average everyday usage. And with quite heavy usage, downloading emails, making a few phone calls, sending texts, picture messages quite a bit, lasted the whole day. Only needed a charge after about 24 hours. So, sorry, not 24 hours, but 18 hours. So I could go to school, come back, go out, and it would still be working, which is really good. Especially as a lot of phones nowadays have quite poor battery life. But this is kind of where all the good things I have to say about the Motorola Moto Lux go, really. The build quality is fantastic, as I've said. everything on the externals of the phone is really brilliant, but I have to say everything else kind of is a bit lackluster. You turn the screen on and the screen is very pretty, nice and crisp, very clear, nice and bright as well. But the processor on this phone really isn't good enough, I'm afraid. It's an 800 MHz processor, single core, so it's fairly slow by today's standards. Even by last year's standards, this is quite slow, and that's reflected in the user interface. So panning around the home screens, you can see a massive amount of lag. This is horrible to use, I have to say, and it's a real shame because Motorola include these really cool widgets, like this widget here, analyses what apps you use most and shows them at different sizes to what you use. So I use the browser most, as you can see there, and so they're all the apps that I use the most, which is a really handy app. They have the same for your contacts as well. You can see the contacts that you contact most, and those widgets are really useful. But the problem is the way they're presented with the rest of the home screen and user interface is dreadful. It runs terribly, and this is reflected through the rest of the phone as well. Scrolling on the launcher isn't quite as bad, but it's still not very smooth. And this is a phone where, you know, you're expecting it to be quite good. It's advertised as a luxury phone. The camera is also pretty lackluster. Being an 8 megapixel camera, you'd expect it to take pretty good shots. But if I open the camera here, go on to the back camera, the user interface for the camera is not very friendly to use. It's just not intuitive. And the pictures it takes and the colours reproduced there aren't actually good at all, really. You can see in this box here, you can see it's red. Actually shows up as orange on the phone when I take a picture, so that's pretty dire. Also have focus issues where it doesn't focus on what you actually focus it on. It's quite a bad camera, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it's fine if you're wanting to take a quick shot, but it's not anything too good. There's also not their MotoBlur integration anymore. I did enjoy Motorola's, where I could format my phone, type in my MotoBlur information, and suddenly I'd have all my contacts back. That's gone here. You have to get your contacts off Facebook or through Google, so it's not quite as easy. It does run Android 2.3.7, so it's not completely out of date, but as far as this phone goes, the only things it's got going for it are its looks, the really handy notification lanyard, and that's about it. There's not much else. The widgets are handy, but using the phone is a nightmare. I really don't enjoy using it. So that's about it, really. There's not much else I can say about this. Has got the new MotoBlur, which is at least slightly better than the old one. It's like a stripped down one. I've already said it's not the full MotoBlur, but it's a stripped down one. It's just disappointing, really. The whole phone is sluggish as a slug that's recently been murdered, so it's really quite bad. So I'm going to have to give this phone a lowly 4 out of 10. Thanks for watching.